Hey Simran, nice to see you.
It's nice to meet you. Nice to see you too. Thank you.
New kid on the block, so you know the game. So answer those questions. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. So I'll answer it in the order that it was given. So first, the concerns of the new areas that have been added to the Windsor constituency. I think it reflects what most people in the nation, especially the working class, feel. It's the NHS. People want better healthcare. They want to be able to see their doctors. They want to be able to, phone the doctors and actually get through. Um, Housing is definitely a big thing. Affordable housing, especially for young families or individuals who can't seem to afford or find places to live. And I think crime is a massive, massive thing, especially in the Langley Collinbrook area, where drugs and knife crime are really sort of starting to come into it's really starting to increase, I think. And I think the education system investment needs to be improved because if we provide the best for our children, it will cycle back into the economy. The second question, what evidence is there that rejoining the single market will provide growth? So if we look at the European Union, if we look at Germany, for example, it's the largest economy, but they're stagnant. If we see their predictions for this year for their economic increase, we only see a 0.1 increase. So by remaining outside the single market, we have the freedom to implement a more dynamic and equitable economic strategy tailored to the specific needs of the British public. What we need is to circulate more money into the economy to stimulate growth. Um, so by doing that, we advocate for increasing the tax-free threshold to £21,200, which will increase the take-home pay for workers by around £1,700 a year. And we also advocate for fairer wages for workers, as it's absurd we pay for universal credit to the working poor when the companies they work for offshore their profits. So in the long term, we aim to skill up our workforce with the free first degrees and more opportunities for vocational training for skills of the future. So making it entirely possible to grow the economy without having to rejoin the single market. Um, so how can we trust the three big parties? There is no trust, I think, which is why voters either don't come to vote or vote for the less terrible option. It's getting harder and harder to trust any of the big three due to broken promises and policies that have failed to meet the needs of the British people. And so if we take the Liberal Conservative coalition failures first, the coalition government austerity measures led to cuts in public services, having serious negative impacts on our NHS, our education, our welfare. And, this has harmed the most vulnerable of our society. The Liberal Democrats themselves have promised to abolish tuition fees, but when they came into power, they tripled them instead. As a student, I've just graduated and I feel that debt. I just come out of university and I'm already thousands of pounds in debt before I've actually gone out into the world, I guess. And I'm sure many other students across the nation feel the same. The Labour Party, with Keir Starmer elected leader of the Labour Party, on pledges. He was elected on pledges he made, but abandoned them as soon as he was made leader. He was meant to renationalize key industries and strengthen workers' rights. So how do we know if we put him in power as prime minister that he will keep to those promises he's made so far? How can we trust the Labour Party as a whole to keep their promises? Um, the manifesto of the Labour Party themselves are recycled ideas from the past. So Keir Starmer stating that he equates stability with lack of change, but real change can only come from effective policy, which Labour lacks. And finally, we have the Tories and the Brexit, which is entirely controversial no matter which way you voted, it promised a take back of control, boost in our economy, improving public services, but has any of that happened? Look at the state of our NHS, our education. Where is the improvement? But how can they advocate improvement when the party itself has issues, with scandals during COVID, with the change of leadership at the drop of a hat? Our nation had more faith in a slowly rotting lettuce than we did in Liz Truss. So what does that say about the state of the Conservative Party? The fourth question, the Workers' Party. We believe that the education is a fundamental right, which is why we are advocating for the free degree. Okay, and which is why we want to cut tuition fees. And finally, if I had to vote for one of the other candidates, it'd be someone who, if I really had to push for it, it would be someone who aligns with Workers' Party values. And at the end of the day, I would think that would be the independent David Buckley. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.